Hi friends, I was wondering how you deal with anxiety. So how do you deal with anxiety in your life? I have anxiety in my life and I deal with it fairly well right now. But I used to not really deal with it very well at all. I used to do all kinds of things when I felt anxious, except for the one thing that God asks us to do with it. God asks us to cast that anxiety on him. And that is in 1 Peter 5:7. And the verse is, cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. So why should we do this? Why should we cast our anxiety on him? Because he wants us to. He wants us to give him the anxiety that we have. When we wake up in the morning and we have that little bit of anxiety about our day, or we have anxiety about something that's going on in our life, or we're just having anxiety because we don't know what's going on, what might happen. Things always pop up, and we're always worried about things. What might happen? What might happen? This just might happen, and we have to worry about it just in case it may. But God, he wants us to cast our anxiety on him. And I was reading this morning in the Amplified Bible, and the Amplified Bible has a great translation of this verse, and it goes like this. It says, casting the whole of your care, not just part of it, all of it, the whole of your care, all your anxieties, all your worries, all your concerns, once and for all. So God's asking us to do this. And if you have to do it like every day, that's okay. Because eventually you'll get to a point where you'll wake up and say, by noontime, you'll say, I didn't have to cast any anxiety because I didn't have any. I didn't have any anxiety to cast. But he is saying, cast the whole of your care, all of your anxieties, all your worries, all your concerns, once and for all, on him. Meaning, give it to him. Give it to him. Because he cares for you affectionately and cares about you watchfully. Now, you won't be able to do this until you understand how much God cares for you. And when you understand how much God cares for you, that he's not a distant God up there in heaven just watching and waiting for you to do something wrong so he can punish you. When you experience that peace, that he actually cares about you, you will be able to cast your anxiety on him. And when you give him that anxiety, it's like, picture a designer bag that you like to carry around and show people. Picture it has the word anxiety on it. Nobody wants to carry around anxiety like that. So what God is asking us to do is to empty that out, empty that anxiety out, and replace it with his peace. Replace it with peace that we could carry around all day. And I can guarantee you, carrying around a bag of peace is a lot lighter than carrying around a bag of anxiety. Anxiety will drag you down. It will cause you to stop doing the things that you need to do in your life. It will cause you to stop enjoying your life. And it will cause you to do possibly destructive things to yourself. So this is why it's important for us to get rid of that anxiety, to cast that anxiety on him. We shouldn't carry it around and carry our worry bag around. Some people think, I know one of the things that I used to think was, if I wasn't worrying about it, I didn't care. If I wasn't worrying about my kids, I didn't care about them. If I wasn't worried about my mom, I didn't care about her. And that's not true. You can care about people and not worry. You can care about yourself and not worry. You can care about your future and not worry about it. You can do that. You actually can. It's actually possible. So when we're dealing with our anxiety, how do we attract peace? This is what I thought about this morning. How do we attract peace in our life so that we carry around a bag of peace instead of a bag of worry? And these are some of the things that I have done in my own life so that I can carry around peace. And one of the things is slow down in your life. I know a lot of people are busy and they think being busy makes them they think it's a good thing that makes them feel important, makes them feel fulfilled. It makes them feel like they're getting something accomplished. But you can get a lot of things accomplished without being busy. And when you slow down, you will be able to identify your triggers of that anxiety. And when you identify those triggers, you need to write them down. That's one of the important things. We need to write these things down. We need to write these things down so that we remember them. The second thing is find time to spend with God. When we spend time with God, God shows us all kinds of things that we would not normally see in ourselves and in other people and in our life. And when we get those revelations from God, we need to write those things down. Like there was something that God told me years and years and years ago. And then I felt like I should do something else. Just recently, I felt like I should do something different. And that was not God. That was not God telling me to do something different, because he slowed me down and he said to me, Erica, he said, remember what I told you. And now I should have wrote that down, because we could forget these things. And then if we have them written down, we can say, hey, that's what God wants us to do. So another thing is we should declutter our life. And these are the things we should declutter in our life. We should declutter toxic relationships, ungodly influences, especially right now around Halloween. There's a lot of people who dabble in the occult. They just think it's fun. It's Halloween. We should do that kind of stuff. No, those are things that we no longer need in our life. So we should declutter things we no longer need, things that from people that we no longer need, whether they are a representation of who they were, a relationship that we had, those kinds of things we don't need in our future. Things from our past we don't need in our future. And then finally, when we declutter those things out of our life and we cast our anxiety on Him, we will make room for peace. And that is what God wants you to have each and every day, so that you can enjoy the rest of your life. I want you to have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend.